We'll talk about that.
I'm sorry. No, y'all can't talk about it.
We're going to call the Beer Board meeting for March 18th, 2014 to order. We have a quorum. It was advertised Friday, March 14th, 2014. And we'll have to approve the minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes.
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All right. New business, we have an off-premises beer permit application for Speedway for 7105, located at 5540 Murfreesboro Road. Applicant is Speedway LLC, and who will be, okay, if you don't mind, come to the podium, please. And state your name.
My name is Peter Doster.
Okay, and your address?
My address is 2500 North Ashland in Chicago, Illinois.
Okay.
Mr. Dawson, can you spell your
Yes.
last name for me, please?
Yes, it's Doster.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yep.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Dawson?
Are you the one training your staff?
No, I am not. I'm just the project manager. I just kind of oversee the construction engineering, but that will be the store manager that will be doing that.
What kind of training program do you have for Speedway?
Sorry. They actually have an online training program. I think it's a 2-day course that all employees have to do before they're allowed to work a register. Plus, they have to have a face-to-face meeting with the store manager, kind of training on, false identifications, looking out for someone that might be already under the influence, things of that nature.
Okay. And they do understand the Tennessee and Laverne laws and ordinances?
Yes, the store manager, yes.
Does anyone have any questions? Any other questions?
Yes, Mr. Dawson, when will this establishment be up and running?
We are turning over the store on March 31st, which is a Monday, and it will be opened on April 1st.
Okay, and your hours of operation?
24/7.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? Okay.
At this time.
All right, do I have a motion to accept the application?
I motion to accept the application for Speedway.
Okay, I'll second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Thank you.
Very much. Second order of business, motion to penalize, revoke, suspend the beer permit for Tina's Asian Market for selling beer to a person under the age of 21 located at 3016 West near Shreeman Boulevard. Permit holder, Tina Chatavon. Would you please introduce yourself, spell the name for the recorder, please?
Okay. Tina Chandavon,
Can you spell your name, last name?
Tina, last name Chandhavone.
Okay. Sort of got this out of order just a little bit. If you don't mind, I'd like to have you sit back down. I'd like one of the officers to come up and tell us what happened the day of the incident, okay?
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Yes.
I'm Lewis Powell, Laverne PD K9. I'm attached to the crime suppression unit. On the 30th of August, 2013, we conducted a compliance check for businesses serving alcohol to minors. One of those stores was Tina's Tiny Asian Market. Our confidential informant went to the counter and purchased 12-pack of Bud Light Platinum from Miss Tina here.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions? This has gone through the court system. The letter was sent to Ms. Chatavon.
Yes, sir. The letters were sent out, certified mail. It was done on September 4th, 2013. And we have return of receipt where Ms. Chatavon received certified mail.
Thank you. Any other questions for the officer?
What was the outcome of the hearing of this?
She pled guilty.
Pled guilty? Okay,
Yes,
thank you.
ma'am.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay, Ms. Chatavon, I'm going to ask you to come back up. Sorry about the inconvenience.
Okay.
So, Ms. Chatavon, can you tell us anything about that day?
Oh, on that day is my birthday, and my friend tried to cook for me, and my family kind of get together. I was excited, and I forgot to ask about. Usually, I ask every time, but in that day, it's like people surprise me early with balloon, with other stuff, and I was so excited, and I missed it that day. So I've been do like, okay, I do mistake, and I turn in my beer permit the following week, and I said I deserve not to do it, not to sell it, and I went to court to pay all the fee, and I do the community service already almost done, 100 hours.
Okay. Does anyone have any other questions?
No, but I do appreciate what you said today. I deeply do.
And you did turn in your permit?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so
I
she
have
has
the-
no permit at this
The
time?
paper here that I turned it in on December 18 last year.
Okay,
So yeah, she
All right.
signed it. The lady took from me.
okay, all right. So, this incident did happen, correct?
Yes, sir. So I learned my lesson. So I said, I'm not gonna do it anymore. You know.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Any other questions?
No.
Okay. Do we have a motion that our permit was violated?
Yeah, I motion on that.
Okay.
That was true.
I second it.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. This is a first for us.
I know.
So now what we need to decide is, she doesn't have the permit at this time, so now we need to decide, is there a penalty?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
our attorney may be able to address some of those issues.
Okay.
This is a first for the board.
Yes.
The city does not have an ordinance regarding a voluntary surrender of a permit. With that said, the permit is still in effect up until the date of this hearing, since there's nothing authorizing the city to accept the voluntary surrender. With that said, I think that the board can do what it typically does in its ordinary circumstance following a finding that the ordinance has been violated, and base their penalty and their reasoning upon the offense that was committed. With this particular circumstance, I imagine that it's still her intent to dissolve. I don't want to speak for the permit holder, but there's a reason why she turned it in voluntarily. With that said, if the board wants to make some sort of decision to allow for an administrative dissolving of it upon whatever suspension or the penalty that it wants to impose, I imagine it can do that if the applicant is in agreement with that, or not the applicant, but the permit holder is in agreement with that.
Okay. Everybody understand that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So, how would we like to move forward on this?
Well, I like to follow the guidelines that are given. One, the burden of proof has already been seen, as the defendant stated that she did violate the policy. She pled guilty, and that was the judgment in court. And from that point, I feel that there should be the procedure to make sure that she understands that that was a clear violation within our jurisdiction. If there is a fine, I think that should be imposed. This is my opinion, but I would like to go by the guidance of my other board members.
Okay. My opinion is that she has already turned in her permit voluntarily, so she's already agreed that it was a problem.
Yes.
And she's choosing not to sell beer at this time any longer. Is that correct?
Yes,
Ms.
sir.
Chatterton? Okay. So we need a motion how we want to go forward with this, whether we create a fine or use the voluntarily surrender of the permit.
I do have one question for council, and I hope I'm not out of line with this. Because of this situation and the voluntary surrendering of this, is there any stipulation within the city policies that this cannot be a license that can be transferred to another person? If this establishment, is the store still open?
My store's
Yeah,
still open,
Still
yes,
open,
ma'am.
okay.
But
Is this a transferable
decide
permit?
not to
I
have it.
apologize.
Well,
I decide not to have it.
Okay.
again, there's no ordinance authorizing the city to accept a voluntary surrender. So for all intents and purposes, her permit is still in effect.
Yes.
Right.
So with that said, is there any penalty that you would normally impose upon a permit that's still in effect can be imposed now? Generally speaking, the board has not imposed a stipulation within any penalty that says that it can't be transferred or whatnot. If that was in the city ordinance, that's what would regulate. Without looking at it, I could not point you to one that says that. That's normally not something that would go in an order specific to any punishment that's assessed against this particular permit holder.
Okay.
May I ask, when does the permit expire?
Well,
May I ask, when does it expire? When is this permit set to expire?
Bruce might know if there's a specific term
On this
on this particular permit. Generally, there's not.
It's not.
But she's wanting to administratively dissolve it, which we do not have an ordinance for, but if everybody is in agreement for that, upon whatever suspension period you're going to impose, which you would normally impose upon this sort of scenario, if the permit holder and the board are in agreement that it will administratively dissolve at that point, that's something that the board could do.
Okay. I'm gonna make a motion that if this was your first offense, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm gonna make a motion, since the permit was still valid at the time, that we have the 14-day suspension or a civil penalty of $1,500. And let it be the choice of Ms. Chittavon which way she wants to go. And then that way we have still followed our procedures.
Second.
Understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I totally
I do.
understand. I totally understand.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 And there's no opposed. So you've already turned in your permit, so it's not going to affect you
Okay.
unless you decide to pay your $1,500,
The fine
Penalty.
penalty,
okay?
it don't matter, like I went to the court and pay already, or
No,
this
ma'am.
one different?
No, ma'am.
Or the 14
Well,
days?
you've already turned your permit in, so you will have suspended your license for 14 days. Okay?
Okay,
And you really don't have to do anything else,
okay.
correct?
So I just pay the fee, the fine.
No, ma'am.
If I can step in, I'm not
Okay,
speaking
please.
as her lawyer or
Right,
giving her advice, but the ordinance reads that the board may offer the offender the option of either paying the fine of $1,500 or just having the suspension of 14 days at your option. And so you have the option of either just taking the 14-day suspension or the $1,500 fine, which was just approved by the board.
Do you understand that?
No, sir. So I don't understand. I have my lawyer here. If he
Oh, you have an attorney here with you?
not here, but he said
Okay.
I got his number and the name.
Okay.
Because I pay everything up over there already, so he said just appear in the meeting with them. He told me.
If I may once more, I
Yes,
believe the
please.
board has already made their decision as to the punishment. And I believe pursuant to the ordinance, she has a certain amount of time in which to make that
7 days
decision.
to make that decision.
And so she'd like to confer with her attorney, and
Yes. Yes.
during that time, she's more than happy to do so.
You will receive a letter in the next 7
Yes.
days, and then you can get with your attorney and decide which way you would like to go, okay?
Okay,
All right. Thank you very much.
thank you, sir. So I can leave?
Yes, you can leave. Third order of business is motion to penalize, revoke, suspend the beer permit for tobacco, brew, and chew for selling beer to a person under the age of 21 located at 5104 Murfreesboro Road. Permit holder. Fede Reflex. Okay, we'll get that here in just a minute. First, we're going to ask the officer to come up and explain what happened.
Lewis Powell, Vergne PD K9. I'm attached to the Crown Suppression Unit. On the 30th of August, 2013, we did a compliance check with tobacco, beer, and chew. We had a confidential informant actually go inside the business and attempt to serve alcohol. She was able to purchase a 24-ounce can of Bud Light, where George, who was the clerk, sold it to her.
Okay, any questions?
Not at this time.
Okay, thank you. All right, if you would like to come to the podium and spell your name for the recorder.
Fady Rezek, Fady, last name Rezk.
Okay. Can you tell us what happened that day?
Yeah, this occurrence and the first one happened right after each other's. So we were just had the business, and so there was not really enough experience with the first time having the beer permit. That day there was so much going on, so my brother got confused between the tobacco date and the beer date. So that's all what happened.
Okay.
But it was a mistake. But in front of God first and everybody else, that was a mistake, because a 24-ounce of Bud Light, we sell it for the normal price. We didn't take triple price or something. So we only make like 20, 30 cents. So by no way we meant to sell this one can of beer.
Okay. Any questions?
Yeah, yes, you said your brother was the one that sold?
Yes.
Oh, where's your brother at?
Oh, he's here.
Okay, can he come to the
Yeah.
podium, please? Hi, what's your full name, sir?
George Rezek.
Okay. And your brother just stated to the board that there was a confusion on the tobacco day and the beer day.
Yes, ma'am.
and what I want to get full explanation of, was there or was there not any communication between you and your brother or any other employees that if there was the date to go in effect for selling alcohol, that there was policies and procedures to be followed regardless? Was that explained to you?
You know, and this day exactly, that's what will happen exactly, just confused. And that's what will happen exactly. It was already, everything is recorded in this day. That's happened, but I don't know how it happens, how. But I asked her 3 questions because I got confused. She tell me, I remember, I think, her birthday because it was conversation between me and her. I tell her, you are, I believe she was October, something like that, 95. I remember that. I tell her, you are 21 4 months or 21 5 months. She doesn't answer. I say to myself, maybe she should wanted to say her old exactly, or maybe something like that. I ask her second question, are you 21 4 months or 5 months? She doesn't answer. Anyway, she got the beer. I ask her 3 questions. So she left. After she left, my brother who was on the phone with me, I tell him I feeling something stress about something happened. He tell me what happened. I tell him there is a girl. She was 21 years. But I ask her 3 questions. She doesn't answer. I tell her you are 21 or 4 months or 5 months. He tell me what is her birthday exactly. I tell him 95. He said no, 95, 18 4 months, not 21 4 months. I ran behind her already, but I couldn't stop her. Right. That's all what will happen exactly. But you know, as my brother he said, if I am bad person, I can tell her, okay, you are 18, the bar of beer, $2, right? I sell it for you, $10. If you accept it, it's okay. If not, it's okay. As too many underage, they come to my store. Too many. They ask about 1 case of beer. The regular price, for example, $15. They offer for us $40. We never sell it. Another customer too, last week, he offered for us buy 1 can of beer, $1.49, the regular price. He said, I'm gonna give you $5. Please give it to me. I tell him no. The reason, because I'm not scary from the land law. And also I'm not scary to get the permit from me. No, I'm scary from just one God, Jesus Christ. That's what I scare. Never mind about my business, never mind about even anything. That's what I wanna street in my life, because I want after that to go to the heaven. If you're gonna believe all of this, okay, you can believe. If not, believe me, that's up to you. But that's exactly what will happen in this day. And I promise you, and I promise everybody, that's last time. Last time, because right now, I put notes the front of me everywhere. Beer, edge, the date, cigarette edge, the date, never happen again. And absolutely, in this time, they send already to 2 mini store in Vergne. They catch 2 mini store, and they come to my store also. They never catch it from about probably 3 4 months ago. And that is the last time, believe me.
Let me say something.
Go ahead.
I think we got off course. I just asked,
Yes, ma'am.
did you not have a procedure to follow on identifying someone when they're purchasing alcoholic beverages from your establishment, which was beer? Mm-hmm. And you went on to about a bartering, about how much somebody offers to pay for
Yes,
1
ma'am.
can as opposed to a case.
Mm-hmm.
That had nothing to do with my question,
Absolutely.
okay?
I just, I think, excuse me, I think he just didn't get what you're saying exactly. Or we have the date and everything, but at that time, he got confused.
That's what
he's trying to say.
Just I explain for you what will happen, but just
But
you,
we got the date and everything, but at this time,
So you understand
Yeah.
that if you're not sure
Absolutely.
of someone's age,
Absolutely.
I think that it's not proper to sell.
shouldn't give it to them. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely, ma'am. But what are you
happened.
gonna do?
I'm
Thank
sorry.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, we do have the determination that it was violated.
Yes.
So do we have a motion to, a motion for this violation?
Well, my motion is to follow the policies and procedures of this board to impose either a suspension or the fine, whichever ones my colleagues decide to follow upon. I'm in agreement with.
Okay.
Chairman,
Yes.
we need a motion that there was an actual
Right.
violation occurred.
Right. But we first need to have the motion that there was a
There's a
permit violation.
motion that there was a permit violation.
Okay, we need a second.
I second that.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, thank you very much. Now, the first offense is 14 day, in the past, we have done 14-day suspension or an option of paying $1,500 fine. Second offense, 45-day suspension or a $2,500 civil penalty.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Is it, second offense is 30 days or 45 days?
45.
In the past, we have had 45 days. This board can decide whether it's,
Oh.
you know,
Because
different.
these two occurrences happened together. They were in one case at the court, so they both were co-current. So we had one date only for the court.
this
for
is
these-
this is a separate violation, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. So we'll let this board decide how they want to proceed.
Make a motion that we go with the 45 days or $2,500
Civil
civil fine.
penalty? Okay,
I second that.
all right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you,
So,
guys.
so what is the decision?
The decision was either 45-day suspension
Okay.
or a $2,500 civil penalty.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're gonna receive the letter when it begins.
Yes.
Okay. So I just got one question. When the offense drop from the permit, after how many years for the first to drop or the second?
Currently, we don't look at when they drop off.
I mean, because it's not gonna never happen again, but
If it's not
Just
going to
look.
happen again, we won't have to worry about that, correct?
okay. But there is no specific law or anything
No.
saying. So they never drop.
We haven't yet,
Okay.
okay?
I just see, we thank you very much and for your time, but I think we are so special because the news come especially for us and come to our store and come only to record right now when we came out, and we keep repeating us on the local channel, and I don't know if there is something personal or this is just natural, but there is no problem
All
anyway.
right.
Gonna be
Thank you.
famous store.
Have a
Thank
good day,
you.
guys.
Next order of business, motion to penalize, revoke, suspend beer permit for Tiger Market, number 106, for selling beer to a person under the age of 21, located at 104 Fergus Road, permit holder Tiger Market Group, LLC. First, we'd like to hear from the officers that were involved in this situation.
Louis Powell, the Vergne PD K-9. I'm attached to the crime suppression unit. On the 30th of August 2013, we conducted a compliance check. One of the stores was a Tiger Market. We had an undercover informant go inside and purchase a 24-ounce can of Bud Light from Mr. Tyler Baker.
Okay, any questions for the officers?
Not at this time for me.
Has that gone to court already?
Pled guilty, yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
No other questions?
Mike Campbell, Tiger Management Group. Mike, C-A-M-P-B-E-L-L, just like the soup. Happy to say I haven't seen you in a few years. I think it's been at least 2 years. We are RVP certified and trained. I've been a responsible vendor now since July 1 of 2012. We were very diligent about trying to check IDs and checking folks to make sure they're not selling beer as a minor. This young man, 18, just turned 19 years old, on his own decided, for whatever reason, to sell beer to a minor. He actually keyed in the register, 1962 birth date. As you guys may or may not remember, our registers actually have a beep that it goes, uh-oh. It actually goes, uh-oh, when you sell an age-restricted product, whether it's a lottery ticket or a alcoholic beverage or anything of that nature. It actually tells you to check the ID, which he did, but he put a fraudulent date in there. I brought my folks with me, Faith Smith, who's been very good about taking care of the responsible vendor, taking it, under her wing and make sure that everybody gets trained usually within the first 30 days of employment. You have to wait, usually you have to have them trained within the first 60, we usually have them trained within the first 30. This young man was trained within the first 20-some days of his employment by Sandy Patterson, our manager. We're responsible vendor, member of the Tennessee ID program. And again, we did all kinds of training even before this happened because we observed something suspicious in our store where somebody was hitting a default on an underage sale. So Sandy asked us to come in with Faith's help. Faith came in and had a training session, and we'll give you some information about that. If you don't mind, I'd like to have Faith step up.
Okay.
My name is Faith Smith. I manage the RVP program for the Tiger Markets, and Tyler, I would say, was a failure. Tyler was hired with us on July 1st, and as part of the initial training of all of our sales associates, there is a training that is done by the manager specifically on alcohol. And our manager, Sandra Patterson, went through that and reviewed it with Tyler, and Tyler signed the forms. On July 29th, Tyler went through the Responsible Vendor Program training. It's an online course through Tennessee ID, and he passed that program. On about August 11th, our manager, Sandy Patterson, observed another sales associate not keying in a birth date for alcohol sale. That sales associate was terminated because that's against our policy. And there was a store meeting that was held, again, to review the importance of checking the license on everybody purchasing and keying in that date into the register. That was on August 12th. Tyler was present for that. And then on August 30th, we have the violation, Tyler's violation. So we failed with Tyler. We failed with him.
And he had 2 opportunities to be trained, both online and personally. Actually,
Yeah.
a week, 2 weeks before the sting.
Went through all this. After the sting operation, we had another store meeting. Went through, again, reviewing how to properly check for identification, look at the person, look at the ID, key that birth date into the register. If they're not of age, the register won't allow them to make that sale. And then again, we had our another quarterly, the stores have quarterly meetings. But with Tyler.
So are all the employees required to go through this training?
Yes, yes.
And
this is
documentation of their training?
Yes, yes.
It's on
Yes.
file with the state of Tennessee.
Right.
Yeah, yes.
And they got 60-day period. If you don't get trained in 60 days, we terminate.
Well, if the employees are not trained within 61 days, and that's a requirement of the Responsible Vendor Program. And our policy is if they are not trained, they are terminated because it throws us out of the Responsible Vendor Program. The manager is documented for that.
I do have a question because I'm not very knowledgeable of the responsible vendor. What if this happens a second or third offense? I'm just asking a question.
To the store,
Yes.
we can lose our responsible vendor certification.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, as part of being a responsible vendor, again, we're required to supply training to all of our sales associates, and because it's online, they are all getting the same approved message within the required time limit. We are also required to have quarterly store meetings to refresh with them any changes to any new laws, like the Tennessee temporary licenses. We have, to inform them about those.
Right. Okay. All right. Any other questions from this?
Yes, my question is this: with this online training, is this done in the store, witnessed by a manager, or is this something they do at home?
They can do it online. They can do it at home, but our policy is that they do it on the store's computer. They take it. They go through the training. They take a test on the computer, and they have to pass with 70% or better.
And they have to do it by themselves. They can't go home and get help from mom or dad.
No,
or
it's
brothers.
an online
At the
test.
store, in the store. That way we keep control of where it's.
That's
being
why I was
done.
asking specifically for the accountability factor.
Yes, yes.
Okay, and my, excuse me, I apologize. My second question kind of piggybacks off of our lead chairman here, that when you talk about the admission of guilt, when you said if it happens a third or fourth time, and I've heard you interject on several times within your statements that we have failed with Tyler, so you're taking accountability that since this is your employee, you feel a responsibility to not just him, further employees into the community. So there's a true understanding that there is a large level of responsibilities for the whole corporation. Am I right?
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, and this is our first violation under the RVP,
Yes.
as I understand it. And as I understand, I don't know, maybe this gentleman will stand up and tell us a little bit about it, but I'm under the impression the City of Laverne Police Department is doing stings on a regular basis, maybe even weekly. I don't know, maybe you can tell us a little bit about that. I don't know if I can ask that, but that's a rumor I heard.
I'm okay if any Officer Stats would like
But I was
to
just curious.
speak on that.
I was just curious if have they shot me, and if so, how many times have they passed? Because I haven't heard of any failures.
We're in the process of conducting periodic checks, and at that time, we conducted 2 simultaneously, 1 month right after we have more planned. Of course, we can't advise when those are, but
Sure.
we're going to ramp up, we're going to do a lot more.
Have you shot me before or after this?
Yes, sir, I have seen you at
And
this.
so we have passed then?
Yes, and I spoke to you about this.
Yeah, what, I know you did, I should know. I wanted you to share with the group.
Yes.
And we know you have too.
Oh, I didn't know, so I didn't know.
So may I ask a question? This listed as a first offense as a responsible vendor,
Yes.
The way we understand it. I mean, I'm not a lawyer.
but we had
We've had prior offenses.
we had
yes,
several
ma'am.
prior.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
And the Responsible Vendor Act gives them some different requirements. Would either one of y'all like to give the details on that?
I have not read the Responsible Vendor Act in depth.
I've
What
got a copy of it, if you'd like
And
to
we
see
can
it.
more than happy to take a recess, and if you'd like me to, I can look at it. From what I understand, the Responsible Vendor Commission or the state commission on them are really the only people that can revoke or suspend. And if they do so, then they have to let us know about it, and then we could take proper concurrent action with that as well. Further, my understanding is under state law regarding what a city can do in an incident with a violation by a responsible vendor is only assess a fine and cannot suspend or revoke.
Up to $1,000,
$1,000.
correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So this board can determine the amount of fine up to $1,000, and then after that, is it RVP is responsible for following through on the rest of it?
Well, I'm
If-
not going to speak for the Responsible Vendor Program nor the state commission, but it is my
Okay.
understanding in order for us to have the authority to suspend or revoke, there has to be an interaction with the commission to which they're a part of.
Right. So first, we need to,
And
a
Bruce
motion.
may know if we've got any notice or anything from them. I don't know if we have regarding this particular offense or otherwise.
First, let's make sure that the violation occurred of the policy for the city ordinance. So we need to make that as a motion first.
Well, based upon the statements given by the officers who were present, that this was a guilty verdict in
Right.
court, I feel that the violation did occur.
Along with
Because
testimony.
along with
Yes.
testimony from those who are present, the managers and the owners of the establishment.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, so motion that the violation was committed. So all in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
And opposed. Now we'll go into what needs to be done. Do you have anything you want to add to it?
The only thing I have to add to this is, it's already been pointed out, the penalty is up to $1,000 civil penalty. The city does have to notify the Alcohol Beverage Commission of the violation within 15 days of this meeting, and then the certification of that clerk will be invalid for a period of 1 year. And I think that's also how the Alcohol Beverage Commission knows if a violation has occurred at that specific store. Of course, any If they have a second violation within a consecutive 12-month period that is reported to them, they can lose their RVP status. And let's hope that doesn't happen.
I agree. So, floor is open for motions.
So we need a motion to fine for $1,000.
Civil penalty of
Civil
$1,000. Okay, do I have a second?
Well, I second that.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And I would say that the city will be passing this information along, and hopefully this will be it for a while.
This will be it. By the way, in case you don't know, we're selling, so May the 6th will be, May the 6th, we're selling to Sunoco. The Sun Oil Company, selling all the tiger markets in our operation, and we're going to sell them all. Maybe they'll do a better job, responsible dinner, things of that nature.
All
It's
right,
been a pleasure.
thank you. Any other business for this board?
And we were on TV too, so. I don't want to do it.
Any other business to be brought up? I have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.